morning, holy brothers and sisters! For the 7th of NISAN in the Kitzur Likutei Moharan, today's lesson will be called Fallen Faces. The granting of children to barren women is achieved by awakening people from their sleep. To explain, there are people who sleep away their days. Although it appears to those around them that these people are serving God and engaging in Torah study and prayer, nevertheless they are actually asleep, so to speak. For all of such persons, spiritual service remains down below, since it is without vitality or intellect. God has no pleasure from service like this, and such devotions are unable to raise themselves and ascend on high. Some people have fallen asleep through their physical cravings and evil deeds. Others are actually devout and admirable individuals, except for the fact that they have fallen asleep as a result of eating. For sometimes when a person eats food that has not yet been refined for human consumption, he thereby loses his face, that is, his wisdom and his intellect. As in the verse, a person's wisdom illuminates his face, Koheles 8:1, and he falls into the aspect of sleep. Such a person must be awakened from his sleep, but it is impossible for anyone to arouse him unless he first stirs on his own, since there must be some arousal from below. It is just that when a sleeping person does rouse himself on his own, if there were no one else attempting to rouse him, he would simply go on sleeping. Thus, as soon as he stirs, it is necessary to show him his face and to dress up the face for him in the telling of stories. Now, there are 70 faces to the Torah corresponding to the 70 years, and it is necessary to dress up and disguise these faces. The reason for this is that just as when someone is healing a blind person, it is necessary to closet the patient in a dark room and to diminish the light for him so that it will not harm him when he suddenly sees the light. Similarly, when a person who has been asleep and in the dark for a very long time, and we want to show him his face and to rouse him from his sleep, we must dress up this face in the telling of stories so that suddenly seeing the light does not harm him. There are several possible variations to this manner of dressing up the face. First, there is a person for whom it is impossible to rouse through his own face, and it is necessary to show him and to dress up for him a face that is higher than the level of his own face, which left him during the time he was asleep. Second, there is a person who has fallen from all 70 faces of the Torah. Such a fall is very great indeed, may God save us, to the point that there is no face that can rouse him with any of the 70 faces of Torah, which correspond to the 70 years. Rather, such a person can be roused only by the telling of stories from ancient times, from which all the 70 faces of the Torah receive their vitality. Through these stories, it is possible to rouse from sleep even a person who has fallen from all 70 faces of the Torah, may God save us. Fortunate is he who merits to come to the tzaddik, the righteous one, like this, who can awaken him from his sleep with awesome spiritual rectifications like these, so that he does not waste his life in sleep, God forbid. This awakening from sleep, in turn, brings about the granting of children to barren women. For previously, when these people were asleep, they were deaf in that they did not hear the exhortation and urging of the sage, and consequently they were unable to speak a single word before God either, since the term deaf, unless modified, refers to one who neither hears nor speaks, Terumos 1:2. But now, when the sage awakens the person and he hears the sage's words, he can then speak holy words before God. And because the speech of such people was repressed in them for so long because they were deaf and mute, therefore now when their speech comes out, it emerges with great strength, as in strong warriors makers of his word. Psalms 103:20. This strength then reaches the reproductive organs, as expressed in the verse, my strength and the first fruit of my vigor, Bereshit 49:3. A person must be certain, however, that the organs of speech are aligned and close to the reproductive organs, namely the kidneys, so that the kidneys will be able to receive the strength of his speech. When this does occur, then his speech comes out with truth and sincerity, and not in the way described by the verse, you are close to their mouths but distant from their innermost parts, literally their kidneys, Yirmiyahu 12:2. And then, as a result of this, the granting of children to barren women is achieved. Thus, through the tzaddik, the righteous one who awakens people from their sleep by telling stories of ancient times, the granting of children to barren women is achieved. In turn, great fear and awe of God is evoked, and a person merits all of the spiritual rectifications enumerated above. Falling from faces forces fortune and fertility to flee, but awakening weakens worries and washes wonderful wishes. As always, thank you so much for learning together. If you enjoyed this lesson, please remember to like, comment, share, and borrow. And please God, we'll learn again tomorrow.